Good evening and welcome to Greenway here in the nation's capital. It's a freezing cold Saturday night in the PS4 MPL here in Canberra between Tuggeranong United and Woden Weston FC. I'm Russ Gibbs. You're watching us live on Bar TV Sports. I'm joined this evening by Steve Forshaw. And Steve, it's a lovely evening in the capital here.
Bracing would describe it, Russell, I think.
Yeah, it's not quite as cold as it was earlier this afternoon, probably because we're in the stand, but there was a wind blowing across this ground earlier, and it did feel like there was snow on the way at one stage.
I felt it. I was out at Googong earlier today, and it was absolutely freezing, but I think the conditions are far more benign now, and with a decent surface and the wind having dropped away, we might look forward to a decent game.
We would hope so. It's two teams, one of them, Tuggeranong United, of course, still in with a chance of making the top four. They drew in midweek 0-0 against the FFA Centre of Excellence, which left them in 7th place on the ladder on 23 points. That puts them a couple of points outside the four, just behind Gungahlin United. But if they could get a result today, and it's important that they do, then they're right back in with a shout.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, with the Centre of Excellence not playing in the finals, a 5th place finish will be enough for Tuggeranong to scrape into the top 4 or into the semi-final race. I fancy the chances tonight. It's a little bit under strength in the Woden camp. Tuggeranong have come off a decent performance against Belconnen at Mackellar last week, even though they went down 2-1. And they've had a really good result, I thought, against the Centre of Excellence, getting a draw in the catch-up game. So, got to fancy their chances, and with all to play for, you'd expect them to be up for it.
And you talked about being at Googong earlier. That result today, Monero Panthers 0, Belconnen United 6, very much secures Belconnen's place in the top 4 with a couple of rounds to go. It'd take a bit of an upset for them to drop out of that 4 now.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably right. I mean, they're obviously keen to finish in 2nd spot if they can. And on the performance today, there's no reason why they couldn't look forward to that. They've outplayed Monero today. 6-0 suggests it was a game that was dominated by Belconnen, and it certainly was.
Well, they needed those goals as well because they're in 3rd place with 31 points, but the FFA Centre of Excellence are a point ahead of them in 2nd. Obviously, they don't qualify for finals, but to finish second overall, if you know what I mean, would be a big thing for them. But the FFA Centre of Excellence today doubled what Belconnen did. They've given the Riverina Rhinos an absolute hammering. They've won 12-0 this afternoon here in Canberra, and disappointing result for Riverina at this stage of the year, coming up against an FFA Centre of Excellence team that, with a couple of games left before they close down, probably got a point to prove.
Yeah, it's disappointing on a number of levels. I mean, I think the experiment with bringing the Riverina team in is a good one. I hope that Capital Footbal will persevere with it and give them another chance next year. And I hope that the Riverina can actually be a little bit more competitive. I mean, you don't want to see scores blow out like they've done today. But having said that, they've lost 12-0 today, but they're 6 points clear of Monero, who've only got 1 point.
Absolutely, and you're talking about blowout results. There was one in the under-20s today. Riverina Rhinos, get this, it was Riverina Rhinos 1, Canberra United 28 in the under-20s, and that's the kind of result that we don't really want to see at this stage of the season, or at any stage for that matter.
It makes a mockery of the competition, but once again, it's a matter of persevering and being patient with the Riverina. I mean, results like that do nobody any good. I mean, you've got a competition now for Golden Boot, and you've got competition for top 4 spots and the minor premiership that are just sort of, it's really like a walkover, 28-1.
Yeah, it's disappointing, but looking ahead to this evening's game, this venue here at Greenway sees a lot of action through it, seen a bit of VFL on it. The pitch from this distance looks quite rough as well in parts, so that it's already had a couple of games through it as well, Steve. So hoping the surface doesn't make too much of a difference, but it's going to be difficult for the boys to play football on something that's a bit as rough as this one.
Look, it's not in perfect condition, but having seen some of that earlier game, the ball ran reasonably true. So there's no reason why they can't play well on this. Certainly compared to some of the grounds that we saw, the one last week when we were on last week, it's in better condition than Gungahlin.
Well, looking at the two teams, Woden Weston FC come out onto the field in their red and black striped shirts, very reminiscent of the Western City Wanderers, of course. They go with a 4-3-3 today. Josh Wade in goal, James Gatzi right back, Brad Oliveira on the other flank, Stefan Todorowski and Adam DiFranceschi, their central defenders. They have a 3-man midfield with Matt Hess and Dean Tomeski, Nick Noveski at the point of those three, and up front Eli Darwich, Will Liston and their leading goal scorer Danny Kukowski. Yeah,
it's obviously not their strongest 11. It's probably suffering a little bit from absenteeism and injury. But nonetheless, I think a competitive side. I think the two central defenders, if they can do their job today, they can keep the likes of Ola Rigby and co in check, then Woden will give themselves a chance.
Yeah, they're missing Conor Nolan and Martin Deng, both suspended. Olaid Yinka Kahind with a groin injury, and Ibrahim Kadari, who's interstate as well. So 4 players short there. Tuggeranong United yet to join us, but they'll be in their green and white hoops. Their team today: Tom Barton in goal, Matt King, Liam Highmore, Marco Gar, and Cam Dirty across the back. Their midfield 3 in exactly the same formation as Woden. Jono Churek, Dom Colacello, and Fernando, the Chilean, in the number 10 role. Up front, lots of pace in Isose Hegi and Nick Faust, and 100-goal Premier League centurion Alex Olorigby as well. So plenty of goals in that Tuggeranong team. And Steve, looking forward to seeing Fernando in action again.
Absolutely. I think with the pace that they've got up front, his role in the Tuggeranong midfield is crucial. He looked against Belconnell last week when we saw him for the first time. He looked an extremely good player. If he can provide the service, I'm sure that Tuggeranong will be able to find the back of the net through the front 3.
The last time these two met was in round 7 at Woden Park, and Tuggeranong United came away with a 2-1 victory. Kudakowski scored for Woden Weston on that occasion, and it was 2 goals from Nick Faust for Tuggeranong, which was rather surprising. He's not noted for his goal scoring.
No, and it was actually, I think he was playing in a defensive role when he got those 2, and they tell me that they were 2 absolute bombs from outside the box. But perhaps that's encouraged Sean Murphy to stick him further up the field tonight. Yeah,
further up the field for Nick. So on the bench, looking for Woden Weston, Chris McEwen, Ben Gregg, Andrew Sellers, and Liam Baker as the reserve goalkeeper. For Tuggeranong, Carlo Mino, Aldi Cummins, Marshall Smythe, Marlon Thompson, and Rory Larkin, the reserve goalkeeper. So plenty of quality on the bench. Steve, Woden have lost 3 in a row. They finished with Monera at home and Tigers away, whereas Tuggies had won 3 in a row, but now they've only got 1 point from their last 2 matches, so their form's slipping away. And when you look at that, they've got Canberra Olympic away next week, and then Monera Panthers at home to finish. You'd think that they want points from this one and the Monera game, and Olympic will be a difficult task for them, with Olympic pushing for that championship if they haven't already secured it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, the Olympic game is obviously the biggest challenge. It's what makes tonight's game important for them. If they can get 3 points tonight, maybe snatch a point against Olympic if the premiership's already sorted, and then beat Monero, then they've taken 7 from the next 9, and that should give them a real chance of finish in a semi-final berth.
Well, looking at the table just before we kick off, Canberra Olympic have 37 points from 14 matches. They play tomorrow against Gungahlin. The FFA Centre of Excellence with 32 from 15. Belconnell with 31 from 16. Then Canberra FC 27 from 15. Gungahlin 25 from 15. Tigers 24 from 15. Tuggeranong 23 from 15. Tomorrow we see Gungahlin play Canberra Olympic. So, there's a chance for Olympic to wrap up the title and maybe take points off Gungahlin, and Tigers play Canberra FC, so that's against 6th against 4th as well. So, there's plenty of teams playing each other, so this weekend could be pretty critical in their makeup of that top 4.
Yeah, it probably won't sort it out completely, but it'll certainly point us in the right direction. And this again is why Tuggeranong will be looking to try and get 3 points today. They'll expect Olympic to beat Gungahlin, and with FC and Tigers playing each other, you can expect one or both to drop a point or 2.
Well, we should be 10 minutes in or 6 minutes into the game here, but Tuggeranong perhaps psychologically playing a few games with Woden Weston. Woden Weston are out there on the field. It's a pretty cold evening, as we mentioned, and they're still there. And Tuggeranong's still in the warm changing room, Steve. It's now 4 minutes to 8, so they really should be underway, and they're not out there at the moment. Is this a ploy, do you think?
It may be a ploy I think they would lock the changing room door. Tuggeranong can't get out.
Yeah, maybe they can't.
No, there doesn't seem to be any sort of logical reason why there's a hold-up. I mean, poor old Woden have been out here now for a good 5 or 6 minutes, and we haven't seen hiding a tail of Tuggeranong. Maybe
Sean Murphy's going to forfeit, and we can all go home early.
I don't think so. It's not in Sean's makeup.
Well, we'll see what happens. Matt Rin's our match official this evening. One of the more experienced referees we've got here in Canberra. He's back on the Premier League panel this year. I spoke to him at the start of the year and he wasn't sure what he was going to do, but it's good to see him out there in the middle. Good referee as well, likes to let the game flow. Hope I haven't put the curse on him.
I think Matt will do a fine job. I mean, I think these two teams play for the Mount Taylor Cup. It's a competition that they play between each other. So you can expect that there's a little bit of an edge to it. But Woden, I think, are probably resigned now to their fate and they'll be looking just to play for pride. So it might not be that difficult a game.
Yeah, well, let's hope if we get one. They're sending the assistant into the changing room to give them a hurry up. Maybe they think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff or something. If this was futsal, they'd be like 6-0 down now, wouldn't they? Is it a goal every minute that you're not in the changing room or something?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here they come. They're coming out. Finally, Tuggeranong United join us. Nice of them to turn up, Steve.
Yeah, a little bit of Maybe it was just a bit of a psychological warfare.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it was. Anyway, we will get some football underway sometime this evening. I'm hoping it's before I freeze to death here on the top of the stands.
Actually, it's quite nice now, Russ.
Do you think so?
I'm comfortable now.
You got your gloves on and warm enough? And we're getting a change, is it?
Yeah, late change.
Hang on 1 second, everyone. Steve's going to find out what this change is, and we'll go on for this. Tuggeranong United will be playing, as I said, in the green and white hoops.
Eddie Coggan is on for Marshall Smythe. On the bench.
It's a bit of a change on the bench we're hearing, yeah. So what was that one, Steve? Eddie Coggan on for Marshall Smythe?
Yeah, Marshall Smythe's been a late withdrawal. Marshall Smythe's a late withdrawal, and Eddie Coggan has been drafted in to sit on the bench.
Well, maybe that's what the hold-up was. The late change.
Yeah.
Paperwork needs to be done. You can't play football without the paperwork, can you, Steve?
Well, bureaucracy is everything, isn't it?
Exactly. It's all about the bureaucracy. Anyway, we're going to start 10 minutes later than normal. Once we do the formalities in the middle of the park. It's Alex Ollerigby in the middle there. It's going to be Daniel Kurkowski, though, to kick off for Woden Weston. Attacking the goal to our right in the first half. Reasonable crowd in here, Steve, considering the Saturday night, and it's a cold night in Tuggeranong.
It's nearly midnight.
And there's another game going on the far field as well, you might catch in the background. That's one of the lower grades between these two sides.
It's, the under-18 game between the two clubs, yeah.
And we saw the under-20s just before this, and Woden Weston, good value for their 3-0 victory.
Yes, indeed, a really good performance. I think that cements their position in the top four.
And they looked some good little players in that group as well, so might see some of them coming along later in the year, and we're underway here. And it's Woden Weston in possession early on. The ball's forward towards Kurkowski, who tries to turn his marker, and it's into the penalty area towards the far post. And immediately Cam Dirty has to get involved to clear it, and that was a dangerous position straight away as Eli Darwich was coming in on the far post, and an opportunity almost straight from the kickoff.
Obviously, the delay didn't do Tuggeranong that much good. They started very pedestrian. I mean, I know it's only early days, but Woden straight from the kickoff have made inroads and created an opportunity that they might have done better with.
Well, Brad Oliveira took the throw, and he's going to try and swing this one into the penalty area. Gets a deflection, and that's an early corner. It's a chance to send some players forward from the back early on, and they won't be shy in doing so. And the set-piece area, Steve, could be an area in which Woden can cause some problems for Tuggeranong this evening.
Yeah, they suffered that way against Belconnen. They conceded 3 from set pieces, but they were dangerous themselves. And the wind, if there is any wind at the moment, is slightly behind them. So they'll be looking to take advantage of that with some decent service from the corner.
Well, let's see what they can do from this corner. I think it's Neveski off in the distance that's going to swing this one in, and Oliveira's there too, and it's bounced off the head of a Tuggeranong defender, and it's out for a corner again. It was a good delivery as well. Wicked ball in, and well cleared in the end.
Yeah, good early pressure from Woden, though. They'll be pleased with the start.
Yeah, I think that was Liam Highmore who got his head on that at the near post. And it'll be Neveski to take second corner in as many minutes. This one's deeper towards the edge of the box, and it's headed clear by Fernando up towards Ollerigby. He's not going to get there, though. And Matt Hess has it. And that was Di Franceschi's pass, who's a bit poor, and Colacello tries to slide that one through. And Fernando punches the ball down to the corner to Ollerigby, and it's Tuggeranong's chance for the first time this evening. Ollerigby, who brought up his 100 Premier League goals in Canberra last week, his Faust. Back to Fernando. Looking to lift that ball over, and Faust made the run, but the flag's up, and that's offside. Interesting, Fernando, he settled in pretty well, Steve. We saw him in the first game against Gungahlin. He wasn't quite fit, but since then he's kicked on.
He looked, excuse me. He looks a really handy acquisition for Tuggeranong. And like I was saying earlier on, that his service toward the front three is going to be absolutely crucial for Tuggeranong's chances tonight.
But that's Sikorsky going up, and that's a big clash of heads there. Right down in front of us here, and friendly fire there, Steve. Copped one from his teammate.
Yeah, I think it's Jono Turek. I think he's gone down with a bit of a head clash, but he's up and about. Tough boy, Jono. And I'll restart with a bounce ball, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right thing. Jono Turek was the one that came out second best on this one. And there's Todorowski. Tuggeranong have possession with Faust. Here's Doherty. Looking for the runner, and it's Fernando who's there. But it's well covered by Di Franceschi. Here's Colacello, little niggle at him there in the middle of the park by Nick Noveski.
Might have let that go then. They were just building quite some momentum down this left-hand side. Ella Rigby in a little bit of space.
Told you before kickoff, I said Matt Rinn likes to let it flow and cursed him straight away. Well, Fernando's behind the free kick. He's got Doherty with him. Interestingly, only Ehegi and Ola Rigby are actually anywhere near the penalty area at the moment, and Fernando's tried to drop that towards Ehegi. But Woden Weston can get it away. At the second attempt. Falls for Colacello. Tuggeranong just keeping the ball, looking to move it around and try and create that opening. Here's the first chance to see Ehegi in action this evening. Nice turn from the youngster, and he's away from his man. But it's good cover at the back there by James Gatsi.
I think Ola Rigby and Asosa playing against a couple of inexperienced fullbacks are a real avenue forward for Tuggers.
Yeah, apologies, that was Dean Tomeski who had actually tracked back. Here's Colacello again, looks to swing that one in the area. It might break for Faust, but it's just hammered clear up the park by Darwich. And here comes Tuggeranong once more, but it's away on that far hand side. It's quite gloomy over there, isn't it, Steve, with these floodlights? They're not the brightest in the world.
No, you need some decent eyesight to see what's going on that far side of the park. But both teams settling into their game, and we might get some goals later on, Russ. I think this will be a reasonably good-paced, open game, so we can look forward to a few goal-mouth skirmishes.
Well, the wind seems to have picked up as well, Steve. You've only got to look at the flags out there at the moment on that far side. They're blowing from left to right, fairly strong wind. And it's with Woden in this first half, so whether they'll take advantage of that, we'll see. Launched down the line by Oliveira towards Sokowski. And he's going to win a free kick.
Once again, another set piece for Woden. And like we were saying before, they'll be looking to take advantage of opportunities like this. Di Franceschi coming up for back, Todorowski, both good in the air, so there's no reason why they can't put a bit of pressure on the Tuggeranong back four. And
Noveski is their dead ball expert. He's the one that swung the two corners in at the moment, so we'll see if he can pick out Todorowski or Di Franceschi. Instead, it's gone a bit short. He didn't catch that one well at all, and that's just flicked back in towards the danger area by Oliveira, but there's a simple clearance from Tuggeranong. Here's Gatsi. He just hoiks that back into the space that was vacated behind Matt King, but there's no one there. And there'll be a throw into Tuggeranong. Neither side's really settled into it at the moment. We're still 6 minutes in.
Yeah, both teams could do with just playing a little bit more football rather than just playing one touch and hoofing it.
Well, hopefully they'll settle down at the moment. Like I say, it's a difficult one. There won't have been too many of these boys that have been played at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night before, Steve. It doesn't happen very much locally.
No, it's a weird time to be kicking off, I've got to tell you.
There's Gatsi making the run behind Faust. He's got a bit of pace as Faust, but he's thought that Barton was coming for it and didn't. And he had to get back to defend, and a miscommunication there between the young goalkeeper and his fullback. And in the end, Faust had the pace to get back, but for a moment there, Gatsi was goal side.
Good run forward, good ball forward, and another set piece. And Woden have actually just bossed it a little bit in these opening few minutes.
Well, Kokoski's the left-footed option from the set piece, from the corner. Has he got the same delivery as Noveski does? He does a great ball in, and that was a free header on the far post and couldn't get any direction on it. It was a great opportunity.
Yeah, Di Franceschi creeping over the back post. Probably should have done better. Free header, got either target from there.
He's pretty tall, isn't he? Got in unmarked as well, which will be something that Sean Murphy won't be particularly pleased about.
Correct. Absolutely. I mean, he's only made a straightforward run, and it hasn't been tracked at all by the Tuggeranong defenders.
Yeah, Di Franceschi, like one of the tallest of the two centre-backs. He's marking Alex Olarigby at this end at the moment as Tom Barton prepares to take the goal kick. Up towards halfway. There's just a little push in the back, it would seem, there by Dean Tomeski. Concedes the free kick, the Woden captain. Tuggeranong like to get the game going as early as they can. Here's Doherty. Now Fernando. Looks for the run of Ehegi, who wins the header. That was an interesting header back towards his own goal for a moment there by Will Liston, who was defending, and that's sent forward towards Kukowski. And defensively, Tuggeranong have got to be sharp here. Unfortunately for them, Liam Highmore shows his quality. A bit scrappy in the middle of the park. It's going to break for Fernando, whose first time ball. You could see what he was trying to do there. Steve was lifted over there for Ihegi. It's eventually got to him. He slid it through. It's a chance here from Ola Rigby to Ihegi. Back to Ola Rigby at the near post. He's missed it. That was an opportunity for Faust. It's there for the second time, and it's deflected wide, and it's going to be a goal kick. Great opportunity there, and Alex Ola Rigby kind of missed his kick.
I mean, 100 goals you were saying before in the Premier League. You'll be a little disappointed with that finish, I think.
Yeah, great one too with him and Ihegi though, wasn't it? It was to get him down the wing, and Ihegi's ball in was really well weighted, and Alex Ola Rigby usually gobbles those ones up.
It's the best chance of the match so far, that, Russ. And Ola Rigby should have probably done better.
Yeah,
But sorry, Russ, it's just going to say it's fairly obvious now that Tuggeranong are going to go through Jakira as much as they can.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of ball in the middle of the park, Fernando Jakira. It's going to break. Eventually, he'd come down on the floor, and Noveski has it. Flicks it to this near side for Darwich. Good touch from Darwich. The second one lets him down a bit though, and Faust can bring it forward to Fernando, who just rolls it into the path of Colacello. Bit of space for Dom Colacello to run into, and he slides that one towards Faust, who's made an intelligent run across his marker, but out came Josh Wade to collect. And once again, Fernando Joquera and Dom Colacello putting their foot on the ball. When they do, Tuggeranong look dangerous.
Definitely the way forward. Get the ball on the deck, play through your midfield, create opportunities.
Kukowski goes quickly with a throw to Darwich. And Noveski got there, and they were looking for a free kick. Matt Rinn says no. It's a challenge from John Chirek. Did speak to Fernando Joquera beforehand, and he says he likes to be called Fernando. So that's why we're going with Fernando.
I shall refer to him henceforth as Fernando.
We don't want to upset the people, do we?
No.
If there's people, all our viewers in Chile.
I don't want to fluff my lines, Russ.
All the people in Chile watching our game, of which I'm sure there are thousands right now.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of Chile people.
That's terrible, Steve. That was Highmore playing it up the front, and it's going to break for Noveski. He can't bring it under control, and Tuggeranong could turn. Here's Fernando, gliding across the turf, but good tracking back from Darwich on this occasion. And Noveski gets stuck into him from behind, and that was a silly challenge because he was going nowhere, and Tuggeranong will get a free kick.
Keep your eye on Darwich. He's come out of Canberra United's Premier League team from last year, and he's a decent player. I think he's a good prospect.
Yeah, very slight, isn't he? But he's got quick feet and can deliver a decent ball as well, and good pace.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good attributes.
They'll be defending this one as Fernando is behind it, and they want to go short, and they do. So Fernando gets onto the right foot, swings in. It's a good-looking ball towards Ola Rigby, and that's well defended at the back there by Todorowski. It's going to break on that far side, though. Swung into the penalty area, and Todorowski's got it again, but it's gone out of play for a goal kick. We've had 12 minutes live on Bar TV Sports. PS4 MPL from Canberra, Tuggeranong United 0, Woden Weston 0. No real goal-mouth chances to note at the moment. Both sides pretty much of a muchness in midfield. If anything, Tuggeranong probably had more ball, Steve, but not been able to do anything with it except create that one opening which Ola Rigby didn't get hold of.
Yeah, I think Woden had the best of the early few minutes, and Tuggeranong have worked their way back into it. Fairly even. 0-0 suggests an even game, and that's what it is.
Well, there's Highmore. Sends that one up towards Ihegi, and cleaning up behind him was Brad Oliveira.
I mean, there are times when you've got to go long, but playing to Asoso Ihegi's head is not the way to play.
Well, here's Gaia. Plenty of time on the ball. Former Woden player, Marco Gaia. Sends that one forward, and it's flicked on in towards the path of Ihegi, but Woden Weston cover that quite comfortably. They give the ball away again, and snapping into midfield was Matt Hess. And here's Ola Rigby. Still chance for Ola Rigby on the edge of the area, but he's trodden on the ball. He's still going, Alex Ola Rigby. Nowhere to go, and so he pulls it back, and the shot comes in. It's a bullet effort as well. Good hit straight down the throat of the keeper from Fernando. Wade was well positioned.
Great feed from Ola Rigby, did really well. Persevered, laid it off for Fernando. Great shot, keeper well positioned.
Well, for a moment it looked like Ola Rigby was going to get in, but he sort of trod on the ball for a moment. Here's Faust, and he's away from his man as well. And here's a chance for him to get this ball into the area. Gatsy's trying to get back, he can't get there. It's going to fall for Ola Rigby, and he couldn't get a shot on, and it's smashed clear in the end by Tuggeranong. There was a great chance again for Ola Rigby to get on the end of that one. He's down in the penalty area at the moment. Here's Ehegi, Tuggeranong carrying on. Ehegi's got nowhere to go at the moment though, and he's given the ball away to Nick Noveski. And here comes Tomeski up towards Kukovski, and it's headed straight back. And Ola Rigby just picking himself up off the floor very gingerly. Is Faust to Doherty, and he's going to get a free kick there for the challenge by Eli Darwich, and another opportunity for Ola Rigby there, Steve.
It's, I think every coach's pet hate, the players won't use their weaker foot. Ola Rigby goes with his swinger there, plays with his left foot, he's got a chance of scoring, and then Woden on the clearance try and do the similar sort of thing. Instead of clearing with a simple left foot connection, right foot, and it's misplaced.
And it's ultimately resulted in this free kick, which Fernando is over. Options in the area again. He swings that one in, another good-looking ball, and Wade's got to come, and he didn't quite get there. And luckily for Woden Weston, it fell nicely for Oliveira, who just sends it up the field. But they've given it away again to Gaia. He'll go all the way back to Highmore, and he'll have to go back to Barton. So Tuggeranong not afraid to start again. Here's Fernando. Just lays it off to Faust. Been very impressed with Nick Faust this season.
Yeah.
Coming in leaps and bounds.
Great young prospect, wonderful switch of play to Ehegi.
Yeah,
switch.
Great ball out wide. And here's Ehegi looking for the runner outside him, and it's Matt King, I think, who's getting up there. And King's got past his man, a little shirt tug there. He's going to get a free kick as well. But that was a beautiful play all around from Tuggeranong. Faust to Ehegi to King, three young players taking advantage of Woden and creating an opportunity.
And the only way to stop him is to give away the free kick. It was good play, really good play.
The free kick from the other side of the field. Matt King marauding forward there from fullback. Highly rated Matt King as well at Tuggeranong.
Yeah. I think from a Woden point of view, they'll be happy with the way they pressed in that last move, but Tuggeranong, with a little bit of technique and a little bit of composure, were able to beat the press. Impressive stuff.
With the 6 Tuggeranong shirts in the penalty area, looking for this one. It's just fizzed across the face of goal and cleared. Interesting choice of free kick there on that time from Fernando, and he just leathered that one across the goal, looking for a deflection. Not the worst option in the world. Still going, Fernando, tying up his defenders in knots and swinging the ball, which Todorowski clears, and it's going to come, and the volley is straight back in, and Ola Rigby couldn't quite stick a leg out there, and it's taken a deflection, has it? Or no, Matt Rinn says it's a goal kick, but not a bad option for that free kick, just fizz that one across the goal.
Did the same thing against Belconnen last week and pulled a tremendous save out of young Finn Durack in goal. And he's tried it again today, and he's hit it well. And realistically, that could end up going anywhere.
Yeah, and Ola Rigby wasn't far away from stretching a leg out for that one either, to getting on the second attempt as it came in. In the end, Woden survived that one, and Josh Wade can take the goal kick. Sends it forward, and there's no real challenge, but Noveski does win it, the smallest man on the field. Tomeski looks for Will Liston, the former Tuggeranong player. Will Liston normally a left back, we can play left back, and here he is on the left wing today. So Tony Oliveira reckons he's got some good ability going forward as well.
I think he has. I think Will, when he was at Tuggeranong, showed he's got enough to actually play at this level. Realistically, I think it's a defensive move. He's playing a defender in a forward line, trying to bottle things up.
Well, Ehegi's looking to put Tuggeranong on the attack. Ola Rigby's made the run into space, and he's got away from his man. Ehegi's continued the run into the centre forward position. Ola Rigby checks, and his second cross is deflected, and Woden Weston get away. Might have been better off swinging that one away straight across the goal, but that's well won back by Dom Colicello, who's been buzzing around the field in these early stages. It's up towards Fernando. Here's Colicello again. Gets it back. Here's Faust. Fernando. Doherty on the overlap. He's going to get away from Gatsy here. Cam Doherty into the penalty area. Real chances for Tuggeranong, but he's lost his composure at the vital moment and just slashed it across the goal when the option was probably a pullback or just a tap into the middle.
I think he was trying to do the right thing. I think he was trying to get that across at pace, but he's completely mishit it, and he's ended up giving Woden a throw in on the far side of the park.
It was actually a really good ball into the other goal across the penalty area.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cam. We know he's got the quality, though. There's a great run down that wing, wasn't it? And James Gatsy was on the back foot again, and he's got to watch out for that overlapping wrong, not only from Dirty, but from Faust as well.
Well, if you see Faust tucking into a more central position, you can bet your bottom dollar that Doherty's going to go past him, and it worked a treat for him then. Young fullback needs to be a little bit stronger, but Cam, I think, is one of the better fullbacks in Canberra.
Yeah, he's been around for a little bit now as well, Cam Doherty. Knows what he's doing. The learning curve there for James Gatsy. I'm sure he'll be more aware next time.
Yeah.
Here's Di Franceschi. Sends that one forward. More in hope than expectation, I think, and it's going to fall for Liston, who does pretty much the same thing towards Neveski. It's going to break for Kukowski, and he's brought down, and that's a free kick. Looking at the lineup today, Steve, just saying that only 2 of these boys on the field have scored a goal according to the Capital Football website. Daniel Kukowski's got 11, and Eli Darwich 1. So unless there's a mistake there, which there may be.
Doesn't appear to be a lot of goals in the Woden team, does there?
No.
But they can get Tchaikovsky on the ball a little bit more in dangerous areas, then they're a chance.
Well, here he is. He's behind this one, and he's going to probably have a pop from here with his left foot. And he does, and Barton has to be behind it all the way. In the end, it was a simple one for Tom Barton. But if you scored 11 goals in the league this season, I'm sure that kind of range would be something you'd look at.
Yeah, it was worth a try. It's worth a try. I mean, he just doesn't hit it well enough to test the keeper, but it's worth a try from there.
Well, his guy. And Colacello helps that on towards Chirek. He's kind of got under that one a little bit, but Heggie does well to bring it down and shows nice feet. But Dean Tomeski's been around for a while, and that's a bit unfortunate. Doesn't look like a free kick from where we were. Good feet from Heggie, and Tomeski looked to just take it off his toe.
Created some excitement on the Woden bench. I think Sos just fell over his own feet then.
Yeah, it looks like it. He didn't even appeal either, did he? Which is, there we go. It's a free kick's been given now. And a chance perhaps for Fernando to have a pop a goal. It's a long way out. It's got to be at least, 35 metres, but he's still lying it up and he smashes it goal, and it's a great effort, and that is one heck of a goal from Fernando. He has smashed that goalwards a la Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's just flashed past Josh Wade, who maybe was a bit unsighted, but what a strike.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. What is he, 30 yards out? And he's made great connection with that, and that's gone in halfway up the net and giving the goalkeeper no chance. What a great strike.
It went like an absolute exocet, didn't it? It flew off his boot, and it just went all the way through, and Wade may have seen it a bit late, but he still got across towards it and still couldn't keep it out. That is one great finish from Fernando. It's Tuggeranong 1, Woden Weston 0, and Woden Weston looking for an immediate response with Kukowski, but that's good defending by Gaia, and he'll send it forward. But midway through the first half, Steve, great way to open the scoring.
Once again, a little bit of controversy. It comes from a free kick that might not have been given, but what a way to finish it. If you get the opportunities, that's the way to take them.
You wouldn't be wanting to give too many away in that position again. They've been worn now, haven't they?
Well, he fizzed one across the box, didn't he? When he hit that pretty well, and now he's knocked one in the bottom corner.
Yeah, great finish from Fernando, and Tuggeranong lead midway through the half. Here's Gatsy at the other end. Doherty's going to see that one out there. And see Fernando and Dom Colacello in the middle of the park there for Tuggeranong have started very well.
Yeah, they're bossing it a little bit. I mean, a bit too much quality for the younger Woden side. You would expect that, but they battle away, Woden. They're doing okay. I mean, they do with a little bit more constructive possession rather than they're just playing a little too direct, giving possession away too easily.
So that warmed the cockles of the home fans in the stands in front of us. And here's Colacello. Free kick the other way on this occasion. Tomeski has the ball at his feet and will look to go early. There's no one making the movement for him, so he leaves it for Nick Neveski, who in turn decides to leave it for...
Todorowski.
Yes, so Stefan Todorowski on the far side. So left-footed, he's going to swing this one in. Looking to drop this into a danger area, but that's well defended at the back by Highmore.
He's been rock solid, hasn't he? Highmore at the back, good player.
Yeah, former Kuma Tigers player.
Yeah.
As is a couple of these boys in the Tuggeranong team. Tom Barton was there, Dom Colacello as well, and Alex Olarugby, of course. had a spell at the Tigers, who we'll see next week on Bar TV Sports. They play Belconnen United at McKellar Park, so that should be an interesting match.
I think Tuggeranong and Woden was with Tigers as well.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Yep. So plenty of movement in Canberra, though, isn't there? There's between clubs. It's not a huge place, and it's quite easy to switch clubs here. The one player who's only played for one club is the goalscorer, Fernando, who signed for Tuggeranong a few weeks ago, and shows exactly what the hype's all about with that goal. 30-yard free kick that flashed into the net. This is going to drop for Ola Rigby. He's looking to start something on the counter, but that's asking a lot of Ihegi, who will chase it manfully anyway. Matt Hess covered it well, and it's sent forward looking for Noveski. The flag's gone up against him, and it'll be a free kick on the far-hand side. But Steve, as a coach, like Tony Oliveira down there, you see a soft free kick go against you like that, and a goal like that must be very frustrating.
Frustrated with the free kick, but I think you appreciate the strike. I mean, most people, neutral or otherwise, will look at that and say, you don't see that very often in Canberra.
Not very often. Ola Rigby's after it. It's Chirek, dummies himself. Doherty looking for the goal scorer, and Fernando's going to chase this into space, and Di Franceschi's come across to clear. He's given them a new lease of life in the middle of that park, hasn't he? Colacello looks to be a little bit more lively with him around as well, Fernando, and the other boys just picking up off that confidence. Yeah,
I agree. I think Jono Turek plays a really important role for him, and sitting in the just sitting in the holding role. It allows the likes of Colacello and Fernando.
Well, here's Colacello from range, and that one was dipping as well. And Josh Wade is not happy with his defence, the way he picked that one up and got through.
But that's a good example. Jono Turek covers, the two attacking midfielders can get forward and create opportunities like that.
Yeah, and both of them look like they've got a good distance in their boot as well, and a fierce strike at goal from Colacello there, and it unfortunately dipped for him just a little bit too late.
Good effort though, good effort though.
Yeah, and Woden need to tighten up just in front of their back four there. They'll be asking for a bit more out of Matt Hess and Dean Tomeski in those defensive roles. Here's Faust. Now Doherty. He's had a lot of joy down this wing, and this is a free kick again. Tomeski has fouled him, and they're certainly stretching the game, aren't they? Losing the width with the Ihegi and Doherty as much as they can, and Faust.
Yeah, I think people underestimate Cam Doherty's pace. When he's full of confidence, Cam Doherty can get forward, gives great delivery, and is capable of, upsetting even the best organised defences. And at the moment, Tuggeranong are well on top, particularly down this left-hand side. They're getting a lot of joy.
They lead 1-0 through that free kick from Fernando. Cam Doherty's over this one, out in front of the main grandstand here at Greenway. Chips it into the penalty. It's one towards the far post, and it's well dealt with at the back by Todorowski, and he got a little shove in the back as he was clearing it. They've tried that one a few times, haven't they? Not got much change out of Todorowski and Di Franceschi either.
I don't think they've got the height or the heading power to actually trouble them. They need to be looking to be a little bit more creative, find a pass, try and play in behind them on the deck.
Yeah, a little bit cuter on their free kicks, maybe try and get Alex Olarugby and Ihegi running onto the ball, maybe. But as it is, Woden Weston look quite confident and quite settled at the set pieces from out wide. Here's Todorowski. He's happy just to launch that one forward, and as willing as he is, Daniel Kukowski won't want to be chasing them all night. Here's Tomeski, middle of the park, bit of space for him. Switches it to this near side to Gatsi, who has to go all the way back to Di Franceschi, who's going to be under pressure here from Faust, and he needs to put a bit on this. Wade comes and just catches onto it, and that's actually turned into a decent ball, and Darwich is after it, and Barton's got to do something. And he does it well. Here's Gatsi, a little bit heavy on that one, but he's going to get a second chance. But that's well read at the back by Highmore, and he advances forward and gets it to Faust, and here's a chance for Olarugby on this near side. Ihegi's made the run into the middle. Fernando's on the edge of the box. Olarugby looks to take on Di Franceschi and wins the corner as well. But every time they break down this near side, it looks like trouble for Woden.
It does. The turning over possession when they're in good areas and in good positions, so they're a better chance of actually creating opportunities to be a little bit more patient. But Tuggeranong will get more joy if they can transition forward a little quicker and get people into dangerous areas.
Let's see what they can do from this set piece, which Fernando whips in, and it's headed away by Di Franceschi, and it's a good header too, and it's going to break for Darwich. Now, he said he had some pace, and he's going to take on Faust here, and he's going to get past Nick Faust too. Can he keep it in play? He can't. unfortunately. But there's a bit of a warning for Tuggeranong on the break as Darwich tried to get away. Nick Faust, that would have been a good foot race if that had played out.
Yeah, two good young lads, both matching motors there, and points decision to Nick Faust on that occasion.
Doherty looks to take the throw. He's got a decent long throw on him. De Franceschi controls, sends it forward, and there's been too many of those long balls, I think, for Tony Oliveira's liking. You've got a goal scorer like Daniel Kukowski up there. You need to give him the ammunition.
Yeah, he's just not getting any joy at all out of service like that.
Here's Gaia. He's giving that one away. Be disappointed. Here's Tomeski. He's going to break for Gazzi, who gets it back from Darwich in front of the Tuggeranong bench. The run is a good one from Tomeski. And he's won his team a corner. Well played, Dean Tomeski. He's showed a good engine there to get forward and support.
Yeah, but it's the first time in a long time that they've actually got the ball on the floor, created an opportunity through 5 or 6 passes, and get themselves a little bit of a crumb, but a set piece, and maybe this is their opportunity.
It does surprise you, doesn't it, when you look at their midfield and they've got Dean Tomeski in there, Nick Noveski, and they're all good footballers, that they should be playing such a long ball game, if you like. Would see what they do with this corner. Kukowski's going to take it. Swings it in. It's a decent looking one again, but it's well cleared by Highmore. Drops out of the area, and the shot's come back in from distance, but it was always dropping wide of goal there from Darwich. But yeah, you'd surprise with people like Darwich, Noveski, Tomeski, even Matt Hess in there. They're all decent footballers. You think you want to get them on the ball as much as you can.
You can't, but you can't do that if you're back four. You'd certainly Todorowski and Di Francesco have been guilty more than anybody else of just missing the midfield out. If you're not going to play through the midfield, you're not going to get your ball players on the ball. I mean, it's difficult to pick up second balls against a really efficient Tuggeranong team.
Well, Tuggeranong, the ones playing the long ball on that occasion, it was Heimer who thumps it forward. Bit of head tennis in the middle of the park. He's going to drop for Darwich, and he spins away from his man. He's got a runner ahead of him. Here's to Kukowski. First chance of the evening for him, but he's dawdled on it a little bit, and it's going to break for Turek. Probably should have pulled the trigger when it fell on his left foot. Olarigby's come to collect. Looks to exchange passes, but he's not going to get that back. And here's a chance from Hess to try and put some pressure. Doherty does well again. Here's Darwich. Dances past a couple of challenges. Great feet there from Eli Darwich. But Tuggeranong have it back again, and Fernando chips it up towards Ehegi, who helps him on his way. Faust is in behind here, and he's got away. Nick Faust in the area, but the whistle's gone, and the flag was up. And that won't be a goal, despite what the Tuggeranong fans think. Flag was up on the far side for an offside against Faust. He did look slightly in front of the runner when the ball was played.
Yeah, he was offside. No doubt about that. Correct decision by the linesman. Bit unfortunate for Tuggeranong. Would have put them 2-0 up. They would have, minds would have flashed back to last week when they had a goal disallowed against Belconnen. They would have put them 2-0 up as well.
Yeah, near Southwell on the far hand side is the one that flagged that one. Sean Murphy's not sure what it was for. I think he's thinking they've been hard done by because they think it might be for a foul from Faust, but it wasn't. I think it was for offside in the first place. And here's a chance for Liston. The first time he's got goal side of his mark, and he's hoiked that one to the area, and Barton's going to come and collect comfortably and look to start us away to Fernando, but Tomeski's on his back, and Fernando cleverly wins the free kick. And then a little bit of afters there as well, and Tomeski's asking, you think there was a bit of a swing there, Steve?
He might have been a little bit fortunate there because he does lash out, but I think Woden can take some valuable lessons out of that. I mean, getting pressure on him, making him play back towards his own goal is going to nullify his efficiency going forward.
To be fair, they've just shook hands and made up, Tomeski and Fernando. There's a little bit of afters from both there, and I think Fernando just apologised for his reaction. Back to the football anyway, and here's Highmore to Doherty. Looking for the run down the wing from Fernando, but Gazzi has it and lifts it up into the air, which Turek nods it down. Here's Olarigby. A little exchange of passes, but it's going to fall for Hess. And he sends it back to Wade. He flicks it out wide towards Liston, who can't keep it in play. And a decent contest we've got here, Steve, after 32 minutes on Bar TV Sports. Tuggeranong 1, Woden Weston 0 on a cold Saturday night.
It's not too bad. I mean, it's been played with a good intensity. The quality's coming from Tuggeranong, but Woden are battling away, fighting their corner, and they'll be looking for that half chance on the break to try and get themselves back into it.
Yeah, they threatened a couple of chances, half chances, but not quite fallen for them just yet. Olarigby tries to flick that one through. Ehegi's not going to get that. For a second, his eyes lit up. He thought he was through on goal, but Josh Wade had that one covered all the way. Good goalkeeper, Josh Wade.
He's
Very
okay.
underrated.
Yeah, he's okay. He struggled a little bit against Belconnen a couple of weeks ago with set pieces, but he appears to have sort of put that into the back pocket, and he's learned some lessons. And he's a good prospect.
He's not the biggest keeper in the world, is he? You look at the balls, you look at it compared to Tom Barton at the other end, who's a big human being, Tom Barton, and a big size for a goalkeeper.
Yeah. But it seems to be the modern game that where keepers had to be well above 6 foot. Up until very recently, it's more about agility and ability to play with the feet these days.
Weren't so big in your day, were they? Did they have goalkeepers when you played, Steve?
I never saw them.
Not sure they had keepers in the 1800s. Anyway. Shouldn't say that, I'm not much younger than you are.
I had a day off school for the relief of maffacking.
Here's Doherty. He's passed that one straight out of play.
Hey.
Gatsy will take the throw. Gets it back from Dowich. He'll be disappointed with his layoff there, and that's good feet from Fernando, who just making everything tick at the moment for Tuggeranong. Here's Churek. He looks to go with Colacello. Back to Churek again. Now Faust and Doherty. Highmore goes back to Barton. Tuggeranong happy to keep the ball and try and draw out Woden and then hit them sharply on the break, which they tried to do now with Faust. And here's Ola Rigby. He's going to do well to keep that in, though. He's chasing after it, and he does just about stop it before the byline and just tries to skip past his marker there. A bit like Karim Benzema in the Champions League final. Not quite the same outcome.
Has a bit of a reputation for going down too easy, and I think that was probably a good example of it then.
Looks lively, though.
Yep.
Looks to have a new lease of life in the Tuggeranong team as well, Alex Ola Rigby, after his knee problems of the last couple of years.
Oh, he's been a tremendous asset. If you talk to the Tuggeranong people, they're really pleased to have acquired him from FC.
Of course, he has previous of Woden Weston as well, doesn't he, when they were Woden Valley. Scored plenty of goals for them too, which first got him the move to Canberra FC. Is Fernando, who looks a class apart out there at the moment, the former Chilean Super League under-20 player. Here's a Heggie looking for a trick.
Interesting to see what his intentions are. He looks a little bit above this level. Whether he could kick on and play at much higher level, you'd have to wait and see. But you'd like to give him a chance.
Yeah, you'd think so. If anybody's watching the video, I'm sure there'll be people sending videos of what he's got, the qualities he's got, and that free kick will certainly have a few people interested, I guess.
I think there'll be 1 or 2 clubs from Canberra be chasing his signature for next season.
Yeah, I'm sure Tuggeranong will be hoping to get him wrapped up sooner rather than later after what they've seen out there so far, and certainly been a breath of fresh air to this team who've actually performed really well under Sean Murphy this year, haven't they, since the upheaval they had earlier in the season when they lost their previous manager and Murphy came into the breach, and he's done very well with them.
He's done an excellent job. I mean, I think he's played to his strengths. He's just kept the game simple. He's asked the boys to work hard for him, and they responded really positively.
Not sure there's any truth to the rumours that they couldn't understand what he was telling them in the team talks with that strong Irish brogue that he's got there. But Sean Murphy, and again another player with a Woden Valley connection as well. He played a bit of Premier League football with them. These two not too far apart for those of you that don't know Canberra, which is why they play for the Mount Taylor Cup, the local derby between the two. Tuggeranong won the game earlier in the year 2-1, as we mentioned earlier, with a couple of goals from Faust, and they're 1-0 up here, looking to extend their lead as we approach the last 8 minutes or so of the first half. This one's a deeper corner up towards Cam Doherty, but it's swung in and out of play. So that'll be a goal kick to Woden Weston.
Game's just going through a bit of a lull. It needs the more creative players to sort of spark up and create some interest for us. This is just sort of meandering towards half-time.
Yeah, it's almost as if Woden Weston at the moment can't find a way through, and they're just resorting to these longer balls at the moment, and Tuggeranong are happy to send it straight back because they've got the goal. Anyway, we're hopeful for a bit more action. Here's a Heggie in the centre of the park, looking to get away from his markers, which he does easily on one occasion, and then again swaps it to Fernando, who turns, looking to get it on that right foot again and get a shot away, but he can't. It's going to come back for Colacello. Here's Chirek. Doherty. Chirek again. Very calm and composed Tuggeranong, looking for the opening. Highmore on this near side. What can he do? He's found Faust, who's been busy all day. And Doherty wins the throw again. This looks like the best channel, the best chance of them for getting an opportunity again, Steve, down this near side with Doherty and Faust.
I think so. I think young Matty King is more renowned for his defensive play rather than his forward forays, but they're getting overloads down this side through Doherty, Faust, Olaribi staying in wide areas. Fernando's sort of drifting towards the left-hand side.
Well, this time Doherty's throw isn't the most accurate, but he's going to get a second chance. And this is prime position for Cam Doherty. He's got a very long flat throw. Surprised there's no one making a run into that area on the edge of the 6-yard box where Heggie is now filling, because this is probably where it's going to go. And if Soso Heggie can get a flick onto this, there could be trouble in the area. And there's the header from Faust right in that spot. Not enough pace on the ball.
No, difficult from a long throw to generate pace off that. He had to do a lot of that work himself, but it's obviously a useful weapon.
Yeah, it was a weapon that Tuggeranong had in your day, Steve, when we were involved in the FFA Cup run. They had Doherty on one side and Sean Kiddie could launch a ball as well, couldn't he?
He was referred to as the Vortex.
The Vortex, that's right. Could now throw a ball, and it was from his throw that the goal came, wasn't it? That Zach Munster scored back in the first FFA Cup match that the team in Canberra played. A win for Tuggeranong down in Hobart, which Steve Forshaw coached.
Sean Kiddie could throw it further than I could take corners.
Big throw. They've missed him this season. He's still involved with Tuggeranong. Not played as much as he'd like, though.
He's been really unfortunate with injuries. He's a really, really good player. But over the last 2 or 3 seasons, he's had injury after injury that's interrupted his enjoyment of football.
Yeah, maybe he'll be back for next season. Doherty throws this one in midfield to Gaia, who's done really well since they've switched him to a defensive role.
Yeah.
Here's Highmore, who's switched to this near side for the time being. He's played that one off of Chirek, beautifully weighted into the path of Faust, who's running in a centre-forward run. Now, can Olaribi get on the end of that? He can't, because that's well covered at the back by Brad Oliveira coming in from his wing.
Well, once again, it's an opportunity where he's under not immense pressure, where he could have put a foot on it and tried to play a more constructive pass. At the moment, they're just clearing the lines and open for the best.
Well, here's Fernando. Certainly made the difference in the first half, not just with his goal, but with his general play, and there's another example of it. Wins his team a free kick. I'll tell you what, though, Steve, as well, Nick Faust's been very impressive in a further forward role as well. We know he can play well at left back, and he's showing just what he's got. Not even just as a left winger, but as a separate centre forward, if you like, when the hole's open.
As an attacking creative player, he's got as much ability as he does when he's defending. He's going to be a really good player, no doubt about that. He's got all the physical attributes. He's quick, he's strong, his distribution's good, he wants the ball.
Well, Woden Weston need to find a way to stop Tuggeranong playing this ball around, because they're not getting any change at the moment. Here's a chance perhaps for Neveski, and Faust gives away the free kick, a little bit over physical on that occasion.
Shouldn't have said anything.
Always happens, Steve. De Franceschi's going to take this one, and you get the feeling he's just going to lob this one in towards the penalty area again for Kudakovsky, who's cut a bit of a lone figure up there at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically 1 against 4, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's where it's going to go again, looking for him. Even if he wins it, there'll be a struggle for it to break. It does. It's going to come for Liston, though, on this occasion, and that's a good piece of defending at the back there by Matt King to deny him.
Yeah, good recovery. A poor piece of defending in the first place.
Yeah, there's no way he really should have won that ball. That would be a bit of a killer for Murphy with the last 3 minutes of the first half in a half that they've largely dominated Tuggeranong, to concede on that close to half-time. As it is, they still lead 1-0. Looking to perhaps extend that lead before the break. If they could get a second one here, be a long way back from Woden.
Yeah, you just get the feeling that because they're close to a top 4 spot, they're just a little nervous.
Well, Tomeski's nicked it, and here's a chance for Liston on the left-hand side. Can he pick out the ball towards the far post? It's coming. Noveski wins a header. It's hit the crowd post. It must be a goal. It's turned in by Dean Tomeski from inside the 6-yard box, and it's exactly what we just said they didn't want right on half-time. They've gone asleep. Will Liston's put the ball in. Noveski, the smallest man on the field, won a header on the far post. It's come back off the post, and in the end, it was a simple task for Dean Tomeski.
Yeah, it's it's probably a little bit against the run of play, and it came as a result of Fernando being caught in possession in a bad area in midfield. Will Liston stood the ball up at the back post, a good header, as you say, hit the post, and then a simple tap in for the equaliser.
But a good example for anybody watching and the youngsters watching about how Temeski won the ball was the creator to play it down to Liston and then just kept going and was on hand to supply the simplest of finishes.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's your job's not done when you've played one pass. I mean, that run into the box has really sort of taken Tuggeranong apart. And
Temeski, a very experienced player as well, and showed it there, and has got his team right back in this one. We were saying they needed to create a little bit more on the floor, and they've done that. And as soon as they've got that ball out wide, they've created an opportunity and got the goal. Now, what have Tuggeranong got in these last seconds before the interval? They've won a corner.
A really good example of if you can pinch the ball in good areas, being positive and playing forward, and that's how they've actually created the chance.
And Sean Murphy will be ropeable down there because they have looked by far the better side in this opening half. Credit to Woden, they've dug in and they've defended well when they've needed to, and they've got their equaliser. And they'll look to kick on from here, but first they'll need to defend this corner, which is swung in by Fernando to the near post. It's headed clear. And that's well run back by Matt King. Now Highmore. Fernando. A little bit too cute with the back heel, and that was never going to reach Cam Doherty. And as we approach the last 35 seconds of the first half, there shouldn't be too much added time. And we're all square.
Sets it up nicely for the second half, Russ.
Gatsy throws it up the line, looking for Kukowski. He's battled well there, but pretty much on his own, as I've said, in the first half. Doherty looks to just bustle his way through 1, 2, and then a third challenge, and Dim Franceschi comes in, and this is the first yellow card. A little bit unfortunate there. I think Adam Dim Franceschi looked a lot worse than what it meant. He was swinging for the ball there, and Doherty just touched it away from him and got one across the knee for his troubles.
Yeah, he's a bit late, and the referee's quite right to give the yellow card. Well, Cam's been in the wars himself this year. He's had a few injuries himself, and I don't think that would do him any good.
Yeah, no complaints for that one. It's going to be a yellow card either way, isn't it, really? When two players are swinging for the ball there and one's going to get a toe. It's going to be a free kick, and this occasion it's for Tuggeranong. And Fernando, as we enter first half stoppage time, it's a chance perhaps one last time to drop this one in towards a dangerous area, and it's a good one, and it's a chance here, and it's a great save from Wade. It's loose in the area, and somehow Josh Wade has made a fantastic stop in amongst all that. I think it's come off the head of I think it was young James Gatsy, and it looked for all intents and purposes like he was going to squeeze past Wade, who stuck out a right arm and blocked it almost on the line.
Yeah, he really needs to take charge of his penalty area in there. That ball was in the air for a long time. He can come and dominate in there. His reflex is fantastic. He's made a great save because it was on the way in, but the problems were of his own making. Ironically,
Steve, I think if he comes for that one, it probably does go in, because he's got a knock-off of Gatsy's head, and he wouldn't have been there to make that save on that occasion. So great reflexes, and keeps his team in it up to half-time, keeps them all square. Tuggeranong looking to gain the lead again. Here's Ola Rigby, who's gone a bit quiet after a lively opening. Here's Faust, who's looked really good going forward. On this occasion, he's overhit that one, though. And Wade, who made that save, safely just punts that one onto the adjacent pitch.
Should take us nicely to half-time, I would have thought. Shouldn't have been too much more time to play.
We had a couple of knocks, didn't we? We had a head injury down here to John O'Chirek earlier on.
We did.
And we've had a couple of goals, so we shouldn't have too much. We've had 2 minutes of stoppage time already. This would be the last chance, you think, of the half. It's thrown in towards Fernando, who wins the flick on his Ola Rigby, and just as he's about to pull the trigger, Matt Rinn says, "That's enough." And, you know, that's the time. I mean, if it's 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes, and that's the 2 minutes.
Yep, no problems there at all. I mean, Tuggeranong will be complaining about that he blew it when they're in a good position, but time's up, time's up.
Well, yeah, there's no rule, there's nothing in the law book that says you have to let someone get a shot away before you can stop a game at half-time. If the time's up, the time's up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the time is up. It's half-time here in the PS4 MPL in Canberra at Greenway. Almost said Canberra. Always used to say Canberra for Tuggeranong. It is Greenway, and it's Tuggeranong 1, Woden Weston 1. We've had 2 goals. Tuggeranong dominated the half and took the lead with an outstanding free kick from Fernando. Just smashed it from 30 yards, and it got everybody pretty excited in the commentary box and in and around us. But then Woden hit back with their first real meaningful attack that they've put together, the first one that they created rather than just sending it forward. And Dean Tomeski was on hand to level it up. And on the balance, what's your thoughts, Steve?
I think you're right. I think Tuggeranong probably just shaded it, and the Woden equaliser probably came against the run of play. But nonetheless, they've battled away well. If they can get Daniel Tchaikovsky more into the game, get closer to him and link up with him, they'll create more opportunities. If one or two of the younger players can actually play with a little bit more composure, rather than just play one touch and one pass stuff, then they're not out of the game by any stretch of the imagination. They're not being that much outclassed by a Tuggeranong outfit that you would say 1-1 is an unfair result at half-time.
Well, we're off to try and warm up a little bit, maybe get a warm drink. It's back for the second 45 minutes on Bar TV Sports, but at half-time here at Greenway, it's Tuggeranong United 1, Woden Weston 1.
thought you were going to say you became a cunt. Oh, no. No, I'm not doing that.
Welcome back to Greenway. Just about to start the second half here with Tuggeranong and Woden Weston all tied at 1-1. Doesn't look like there's any changes at half-time, Steve, and we expect much more the same in the second half.
Yeah, there's certainly a change in the clothing of Mr. Ola Rigby, who has taken the field with a pair of bright orange gloves.
He told me beforehand that he has poor circulation in his feet and his hands, and he may well sport the gloves at some stage. You can't miss him now, can you? With that bright green undershirt and the bright orange gloves, and he'll be hoping to be a bit more of a threat going forward in this second half. Liston on this near side is beaten to it by King, but he'll get a free kick for a foul as a late challenge on Kukowski. What do you think the coaches would have been saying at half-time, Steve?
I think Sean Murphy's half-time talk would have changed minutes before the whistle went for the end of the first half, because he was in a really good position, winning position, and they've let that slip a little bit. So he'd have been saying, let's get back to basics, do the little things well. From Woden's point of view, I'm hoping Tony Oliveira was actually saying, let's play a bit of football, get the ball down on the floor, and we can, if we're going to lose, let's do it our way.
Well, Tuggeranong United, the home team, lining up with a 4-3-3. Tom Barton in goal, Matt King, Liam Highmore, Mark Agar and Cam Doherty across the back. Jono Chirek, Dom Colacello, Fernando in midfield. Their front three, Isose Heggie, Alex Olarugby and Nick Faust. Woden Weston in exactly the same formation. We'll go through it in just a second as Noveski looks to get in there on the far side, but he's beaten to the ball, and Colacello tried the little cheeky little flick around the corner, but it's not going to work. Josh Wade in goal, James Gatsy, Stefan Todorowski, Adam DiFranceschi, Brad Oliveira. Their midfield three, Matt Hess, Dean Tomeski, Nick Noveski. Up front, Eli Darwich, Danny Kukowski and Will Liston. That one switched in towards Liston, who's get the touch on the edge of the box. But there was no turn for Hess, and here's Tuggeranong on the break. First chance of the second half, and Ola Rigby is going to get on the end of this ball and take on his man. Ola Rigby still advancing into the air, still going Ola Rigby down. He goes, that's a clear-cut penalty. No hesitation from Matt Rinn to point to the spot, and a yellow card as well at the back there. It was a clear foul as well, Steve, and that was a very simple decision.
Yeah, caught on the break. Great transition from Tuggeranong as they broke forward with pace. Ola Rigby beats his first defender, then Todorowski's committed and nailed on penalty.
Yeah, 100% penalty for Tuggeranong United. What a start the second half this would be. It's unsurprisingly Fernando who's going to line this one up. Josh Wade already picked one out of the net from the Chilean. But we're going to have to wait for a second because there's an injury here as well. It's Brad Oliveira who's down on his haunches, and this is not what he'd want waiting to take the spot kick. Oliveira is going to go off to get some treatment, and Fernando's going to line this one up, and a chance for Tuggeranong to retake the lead at the start of the second half.
Just what Murphy would have ordered. Good start, quick goal, put pressure on Woden to come out and maybe open things up at the back.
And we still wait because there's a substitution taking place. I'll just run you through that in a second. We'll wait to see the spot kick first. Sometime this evening we'll probably get this one. Here we go, Fernando against Wade. Up he comes, dummies, and just rolls it calmly in the corner. Sent Wade the wrong way. Comfortable finish from Fernando, his second of the game, and Tuggeranong back in front.
Classy penalty from a classy player. Just waited for the keeper to move and rolled it into the empty side.
Well, Brad Oliveira's evening's done as well. He's hobbled off to the changing room just before that, and Chris McEwen's come on to replace him. So Woden Weston down 2-1. They'll need to find a way back into the match, like they did in the first half. Made it difficult for themselves. But with Tomeski's first goal in the first half, they definitely have the ability to get back into it. Gatsy can't control that, though, and Tuggeranong will be looking, unlike the first half, Steve, to build on this.
Well, if they sort of sit back and hope that that's enough, I fancy Woden to pinch one like they did in the first half. I think they've got to go and try and get another and make the game safe. And, if they want to win games, they've got to win these.
And that goal showcases everything that was good about Alex Olarigby that we didn't see in the first half. He got the ball, ran at his man, sheer pace, good skill to get past him, and just won the penalty. That's
his strength. It was the first half. All the chances seemed to drop to him, but he couldn't finish off. Start of the second half, he's done.
Ball's headed away by Todorowski. Going to break for Turek, who comes to King. Looking for Heggie, and he's got goal side of Liston. Looks a bit sluggish trying to get back there, Liston, and he's been skinned by Heggie, who's into the area. Still there, Heggie fires this across the goal, and it's ricocheted. It could have gone anywhere, and in the end, you have to say that's reasonably good defending from Adam Di Franceschi to get rid of that one. All he's done is delay this latest attack. King throws it into the area. It's going to bounce. No one's going to get on the end of that one, though. Highmore sends it back in. Here's a chance on the break, and this is a big clash of heads. Ball got in the way, I think, between Gaia and Tomeski, and they both got stuck in there, and there's a bit of afters between the two there, and a little bit of a go at each other, Dean Tomeski and Marco Gaia.
Less than handbags, I think, Russ. Less than handbags.
A bit of words out there as well. It's good to see a bit of fire in a local derby, and that's a free kick. Tomeski's just gone over and taken his frustration out on Fernando, I think, is that? Or was that? Yeah, it is. He was the unlucky one that got on the end of that one from Tomeski.
He was, but moments earlier we see Ahegi showing what he can do. We had Olarigby down the left-hand side and Ahegi down the right-hand side. It's the beauty of pace.
Yeah, he left Will Liston, looked like he was running in treacle for a second there, didn't he, as he was getting past him, and he's no slouch, Will Liston. Well, here's a free kick again. Fernando's been dangerous from these sort of positions all day. He fizzed one in from the angle over the other side in the first half. Will we see a more conventional approach here, or will he do that cut across the ball and try and fire it at the goal there, which Steve was alluding to at Belconnen the other week? Here he is, right-footed, and it is the fizz across the face of goal, and again, could have got any sort of touch. It came off of a Woden Weston head, and it is a corner. But those kind of free kicks, Steve, I mean, if you're a centre-forward, you're putting your head on that, it's going to knock you out for a week, but you may get a goal.
It actually looked like the Tuggeranong players, well, no, we're not going anywhere near that.
Olarigby slips as he takes the corner, but it's gone to the near post, and Wade can't keep it out, and it's over the line. I think it is. It's a goal. Tuggeranong have a third, and it's the near post header, and I can't quite see who's scored it, but Wade couldn't keep it out, and it's trickled its way over the line, and immediately it was signalled by the linesman that it was in, and United lead by 3-1. Maybe it was Colacello, was it, Steve?
I think it might have been Dom Colacello. Yeah, they're certainly going to congratulate Dom.
Yeah, they're congratulating Alex Olarigby for falling over as he took the corner as well. What a pinpoint cross.
I know. A colourful slip.
And it's we're going to give that one to Dom Colacello until we hear otherwise. I'm pretty certain it was his header, but Josh Wade will be disappointed he didn't keep that one out. And Tuggeranong now have a third goal, and with only 8 minutes of the second half gone, it's beginning to look ominous for Woden Weston. Someone not too far away from me in the commentary box predicted a 4-1 Tuggeranong win before kickoff. Do you remember saying that, Steve?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm pretty confident they can get there too.
They weren't not too far away. It's a good call so far. But certainly warmed everybody up here. We've got 4 goals so far. Tuggeranong 3, Woden Weston 1. Couple of quick-fire goals at the start of the second half. And it is exactly the start that Murphy would have wanted after the disappointment of conceding just before half-time, and exactly the start of the second half that Tony Oliveira would have been fearing.
Absolutely. I mean, they do say the coaches earned their bread at half-time, and obviously Sean Murphy sent Tuggeranong out with the bee in the bonnet, and they've actually delivered. Woden caught a little bit flat-footed, and they've got everything in front of them now, mountains to climb.
And McEwen won the header. Looked to get it the second bite of the cherry as well, but it's going to go to Chris McEwen. He swings the boot at it, prods it towards Neveski on the far-hand side. And the introduction of McEwen seems to have been a bit of a reshuffle here as well, Steve. Oliveira was at the back. Of course, McEwen's dropped into more of a midfield role.
And I think Will Liston's dropped into the left-back role, vacated by young Brad Oliveira.
So maybe that's had something to do with it as well. A little bit of a reshape and a reshuffle after the second goal.
You could have. I think, I mean, Will Liston is clearly used to playing in the position that he's dropped into. But they've obviously, losing a player through injury isn't the substitution you want to make. As a consequence, 2 quick goals and the game's rapidly slipping away from Woden.
Well, they have a striker on the bench. You've got Andrew Sellers, who played in the under-20s match beforehand as well. So he's an out-and-out striker. The only other option they do have is Ben Gregg, who's actually a central defender. So you'd probably think the Sellers would be the change if they're going to try and get back into this one.
Yeah.
Here's Wade, and he's got to do well with this. It's going to fall, though, for Fernando again. Here's a Heggie. Liston does get a foot in. Woden can't clear it, though, at the moment. And Fernando, who's caused all sorts of problems, shoo-in for man of the match for me at the moment. Although Faust has pushed him with his skills as well. Here's Fernando looking to swing it into the area. The flag's up, and that won't count even if it went in from a Heggie, who connected really well. Hovered well and connected.
Got up well. Well, once again, a lazy, laconic cross from Fernando. He's just a different class. It's him versus the rest, basically.
He won the ball, just a languid sweep of that right foot to swing it towards the far post where Heggie won it. But the flag had already gone up. There was a few Tuggeranong committee people and coaching staff said to me at half-time, Steve, they were asking about the disallowed goal by Faust in the first half. They felt a bit aggrieved that they didn't think he was offside, but I guess they'll forget all about it now they're 3-1 up.
It certainly won't be as painful now.
Unless, of course, Woden Weston has something incredible in their locker and they can get back into this. Plenty of time to do so, and they're going to get the chance from this free kick to perhaps load the box. Kurkowski's going across to take it.
I think, Russ, the opportunities now for the opportunity for Woden is to change the formation a little bit and try and get something out of the game. They're not going to make the top four. They're not going to get relegated. They might as well go for it, go to three at the back, or just try something a little bit more different to try and get back in the game.
Well, Kurkowski's going to take this free kick with his left foot, and he's got 4 or 5 shirts to aim for. Swings that one in. It's a good flat delivery as well, and it's headed clear by Doherty. And it will be a corner to Woden Weston, and it's looks quite breezy over there on that far side when near Southwell is by the corner flag.
Yeah, the flags are at full mast here, aren't they? So she's obviously blowing at ground level.
Kurkowski's going to take this. Again. Goes short this time, and it's not worked at all. And here's a chance for Tuggeranong. There's a break on here. If they can put Ola Rigby into the channel, he's got it. First touch is a bit heavy. And he's facing the wrong way from goal, and plenty of Woden players back in support now. But he's found Fernando, who just comfortably goes back. But they've given it away. They've over-elaborated on this occasion. Here come Woden with Noveski. His ball towards Hess isn't quite what he wanted, though. And here's Fernando in midfield. 3 shirts around him, but he still comes away with it. And just leaves Cam Doherty take over. And doesn't quite get the return pass that he was looking for.
No, they're missing opportunities. They're winning balls in good areas. They can play forward. And at the moment, they're just, as you say, over-elaborating in possession.
Well, here's a chance for McEwen. He's left the boot in there and gives away the free kick. And at the moment, you think, Steve, Woden are going to have to keep pushing forward to get back into this. You say, as you said, they're sitting 8th on the ladder. They can't make the top 4. Why not have a go? At the same time, though, when they do have a go, they've got to be careful that they don't get caught by this Tuggeranong attack.
Sure, you want to keep the back door closed, but you can take a few risks now. I mean, 3-1 down, the 3 points at the moment are in the bag for Tuggeranong. So if you're going to lose, go out and have a go.
Well, let's see. I think they might do towards the end. That's a ball over the top, and Heggie is onside. He's got to do a lot to get across there, though, and it's well defended at the back by Eli Darwich, who's covered some ground. I think that was Darwich who got across there.
Yeah, I think so.
Defended pretty well. Concedes the throw in. Nothing else he could do in that situation. And Cam Doherty in the gloom of the far-hand side. He's going to throw this one somewhere, you'd think, towards the penalty spot. In fact, he goes back on this occasion. His Colacello rolls under his foot. King. And that's back to Wade, who left-footed. Launches this one down towards Darwich, who brings it down well. Shows some good quality there, Eli Darwich. McEwen looks to put him back down the wing. It's asking a lot for Darwich to get there, and that's great defending by Liam Highmore, but he's just run that one out of play. It will already be, it's already gone, in fact, and it'll be a throw to Tuggeranong, which Matt King will take. Here's Highmore. Kurkowski, bit of a shove on him there. Has a second bite at Liam Highmore and concedes a free kick. And a little bit of afters between Highmore and Kurkowski, and here comes the cavalry from both teams. Looked like it was going to spark over at some stage, Steve. Dan Franceschi's getting involved as well. As a local derby, there's been some moments in the game that's threatened to spoil over, and there's a card coming out here, probably for Daniel Kukowski, I'd imagine. There's one there for Highmore, and there'll be one for the Woden centre forward as well, and that's well refereed by Matt Rinn. And everyone's hugging and friends again.
Yeah. I mean, it was hardly a battle, was it? Yeah.
For a moment, it looked like it might spark over, and everyone came charging in, and then decided better of it.
Kissing a cuddle, and everybody moved on.
Just maybe they wanted to warm each other up. It's pretty cold out there. And there's another card. Is there something happening here off the ball? Matt Rinn's having a chat with Adam Di Franceschi. Probably about running in to get involved from a long distance away, not to do it again.
It's the longest run forward Adam's made all night.
But he's made a fair effort to get up there, hasn't he? From a central defence into the furthest run forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing in it. You could see it coming, though, couldn't you, from a mile away when they had the tangle. Anyway, all's well that ends well as Highmore clips that one forward. Looking for Heggie. Off goes Todorowski, using his strength. Heggie's got the skill there to get away from him, and good defending in the end from Stefan Todorowski. He's used his strength and experience there to hold off younger Heggie.
He's becoming more and more of a threat, though, isn't he? Just down this right-hand side, he's got the pace to go past Will Liston. If they can use him a little more effectively, he can.
And he's noted goal scorer. He has scored a lot of goals, Heggie, as well. And as that's switched from Colacello into the middle, it's going to fall for Heggie, but McEwen's beating him to it. King's in there first, and here's Temeski and King battling. Falls for Faust, and that's towards Ola Rigby. Nick Faust's been a bit quieter this half, hasn't he, so far? We haven't really seen as much of him on the ball.
No, but I think Ola Rigby's taken up a wider spot in front of him, which is stopping him going forward a little bit.
Talking about Heggie, and strikes me as very much a confidence player, Steve. When his confidence is up, he looks like he could take on the world.
He's an enigma. He can be a match winner. There is no doubt about it. And then you wonder whether he's only started playing yesterday. He's very, very inconsistent. If he can find consistency, he's going to be a really useful asset for Tuggeranong going forward. Well,
Tuggeranong making problems of their own making there, with Matt King and Liam Highmore getting that one a bit wrong, and in the end it's a free kick to Woden. Asking a lot of Darwich, who wins the header, only as far as a Heggie, and wins a fairly cheap free kick there off the back of a tackle by Will Liston.
Yeah, I think he was a bit unlucky.
Yeah, it looks not the Woden Weston bench disappointed, I think is the word, with that decision.
Yes, some clothing has been thrown at the fence.
Doesn't want to be throwing a beanie away on this night. It's like gold dust. Todorowski wins the header. You're right, you've got yours, Steve. Got your beanie on. Here's Highmore. Tries to play that infield. McEwen gets a touch on it, and it's going to be picked up by Di Franceschi. Going forward in a more positive fashion on this occasion, up towards Noveski. Doherty's coming across, and that's hit Noveski on the hand, and that'll be a free kick. You'd say they're still not out of it, Steve, are they? I mean, they've not threatened a huge amount to score since they've equalised, but there's those moments when they've got the ball, Woden Weston, where you think that maybe they could do something. Flags up here, this will be a free kick for offside.
I think on the scoreboard they're not out of it, but they're just not doing enough in possession to actually give you any confidence that they can get back into it. At 3-1 down, it's like a 2-0 scoreline, isn't it? You know, it's a dangerous scoreline, but only if you're actually putting some pressure on your opponent.
You'd like to see them do it a little bit more. Here's McEwen. Struggled to really impose himself on the game, I think, since he's come into it, has Chris McEwen. Sort of passed him by a little bit, hasn't it, Steve?
Yeah. I've seen Chris play before, and he's played in a more defensive role, so it might be just a little foreign for him.
Yeah, he may settle into it. He's still got plenty of time to do so. We've only had 19 minutes of the second half here at Greenway, live on Bar TV Sports. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator this evening. With me is Steve Forshaw, and we're watching Tuggeranong United lead Woden Weston 3-1 at Greenway on a Saturday night in Canberra. The place to be on a Saturday night in Canberra, Steve.
What else would you rather be doing?
Exactly. This is up towards Sirkovsky. And he's trying to win a corner, and in the end he's got a throw in right by the corner flag. Tuggeranong have plenty on the bench as well. They've got Carl Omino, Aldi Cummins, Eddie Coggan and Marlon Thompson. So a lot of youngsters and a lot of forward players there.
Yeah, no, this is a great opportunity for him to give people like Eddie Coggan a run. He's a player with a lot of potential, so if they're looking to sort of look for more goals, get an Eddie Coggan on. If they're looking to close up shop in another 20 minutes or so, bring on another defender, I guess.
Yeah, Marlon Thompson's the only natural defender in that group. Here's Neveski, bit of space for him. He might try and set one up from here. Open up for a shot originally, but he didn't take it on. Here's Darwich. First time we've really seen him in attacking zone. Eli Darwich, and he gets it off that right foot, but the shot was a bit inaccurate in the end. But that's the first time we've seen Darwich inside the opposition penalty area, and we know he's got good feet, and that's where they need him to be if they're going to get back into this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's much better for them. He wanted to get it on his right foot to create the shooting opportunity, and he managed that. Not the best technique at the end of the day, but at least he opened up the goal to try and hit the big targets.
So midway, as I said, through the half. 25 minutes or so to go, so just shy of that midway mark. Tom Barton, been a fair spectator in this half so far. Not had an awful lot to do. Here's McEwen. Looking for the run out wide of Neveski. But the ball's broken loose, and here's Fernando in the position he wants to be, running at the Woden defence. Still going Fernando, looking for Ola Rigby, but he didn't attack the ball, rather let it come to him, and it was picked off, and here's Neveski up the other end. Hess, loose ball, and Heggie's through. Associate Heggie in on goal. This could seal it. Heggie just slides it past Wade, and Tuggeranong have a fourth, and that one was presented to them on a platter by a poor back pass from Matt Hess, who's down on his haunches, unfortunately for him. But when Heggie was in, we said he was a goal scorer, Steve, and he certainly took that one like a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, he's finished that with all the sort of class that he's capable of mustering. It was a terrible mistake, of course, in midfield areas by the Woden player, but you've got to be good enough to take advantage of it, and he was.
And he never really looked like missing when he got in. Was in on goal. He could have gone round him, and in the end he chose a simple option of just knocking it past the advancing goalkeeper. And you'd think with even 24 minutes or so to go that's the points. Tuggeranong United 4, Woden Weston 1. If your prediction's right, Steve, we may as well pack up and go home now. But there may be some more before the end.
How long to go?
25 minutes.
Blow that whistle.
Here's a Heggie. Just scored the goal, and there's the confidence we were talking about. Skips past the marking of Will Liston and finds King on the overlap. He's got Ola Rigby in the middle, but he's cut back onto his left foot. Here's Fernando. Good first touch. Still going. Tries to slide it through, but didn't spot Dean Temeski back there, who clears it. Just smashes up the field, and it's actually turned into a good ball to Neveski. And Marco Gaia, though, has got this battle with Daniel Kurkowski, and Kurkowski is winning it on this occasion, but he's very much isolated up there and has to come all the way back to McEwen, whose pass is very, very poor. And here's Matt King, who just gives the ball straight back again via Will Liston to Temeski and back to Liston, who then slides Darwich in, who's got goal side of King. King's looked like he's struggling to get back here. Darwich swings it into the penalty area. What a great ball that is, but no Woden Weston player had gambled in the middle. That's where you needed your centre forward, and he wasn't there on this occasion. Here's Gatz, he's swinging it back in there. Chance for Hess to make up for his mistake at the other end, but he can't bring it down, and Tuggeranong just smash it clear in the end. And a bit of excitement there.
Darwish did really well. Lovely ball across. Matty King just caught the wrong side of him. I think he's just acknowledged that to the bench. But that's the sort of thing that Woden should have been doing all the time, playing that sort of football. It gives them a better opportunity.
Well, here's Hess, neat and tidy on that occasion. Here's McEwen. Still going. McEwen tries a left-footed shot, hits his own player. Knocked over Daniel Sokowski. And in the end, Doherty can clear up towards Fernando. Todorowski's going to win it, though, but Fernando takes it back off the burly centre-half as it falls for Turek. Now Fernando again. Clips it over the top, but De Franceschi's read that one all the way, and he couldn't find the run of Ola Rigby. And just for a moment there, Woden looked like they were in for a chance. Great ball in. As a centre forward, Steve, that's exactly where you want it, fizzing across the 6-yard box. And if Kurkowski or one of the Woden Western players had gambled, they'd have had a tap-in.
Yeah, that's right, because he's beaten the last line of defence. His cross has taken the keeper out of the equation. If you get somebody going near post, somebody going far post, one of them must score.
Was the Tuggeranong player down? Is that Nick Faust?
Nicky Faust.
Yeah, he's struggling.
on the break, if the ball gets cleared, it can go to any of the front 2 or 3, and the second ball is always being picked up by the Chilean number 10. And given how much influence he's had on the game, it's almost negligent to leave him in that much room.
Yeah, you said it earlier, Steve, when they're pushing forward, looking for a way back into the game. But when you've got quality of Fernando, Associate Hegi, Alex Olarigby, you're always running that risk that what we saw just a moment ago would happen. It was unfortunate for Matt Hess that it happened in that way, that he lost possession and it just rolled its way into the path of Associate Hegi. But, you know, he took the goal well.
All the 4 goals that they've scored, they've taken well. You know, it was a good near post header. The free kick was a gem. They're the better team. They're 4-1 in front. They can actually relax now. The points are in the bag. It's up to Woden to try and get something back.
The substitution for Tuggeranong. Is that Aldi Cummins that's come on there? I'm not entirely sure. Number 17 shirt, not on my team sheet.
I don't recognise him, sorry.
Well, we'll try and find out who that is in just a second. I think that was Aldi Cummins that came on, but we're not entirely sure. I haven't got a number 17 on the team sheet. We'll find out. Here's McEwen. Long ball forward. So it is Cummins. He was down as number 16 on our sheet, so they've snuck him into a different shirt. One of the youngsters from the Tuggeranong youth grade is making the step up. Opportunity for him, Steve.
Yeah, good opportunity. You can't come on at a better time. Your team's 4-1 in front. You dominate in the game. This is a really good opportunity to get some game time in the Premier League.
Well, let's see what he's got. He's got approximately 20 minutes or so to show us his quality. But first, Tuggeranong will need to defend as Tomeski has a pocket of space in which to work. Tried to find Dawich, but he's under-hit the ball, and Matt King's come across to win it. And get a little nick off Eli Dawich as well, so he's done well, the young fullback. Get his team a throw-in. He goes long. Tomeski wins it. Dawich, beaten by Colacello. Olarigby takes a touch, but couldn't quite free Ihegi. Colacello has it back. Now King. Geyer and Highmore combine, and this is a first touch for Cummins. Plays it nicely into Chirek and back to Olarigby. This is a good move from Tuggeranong, got a bit of potential, but as soon as I say that, of course, you put the mocker on it, and Chris McEwen wins it and touches it back. And is that a back pass? I think it is. It's a bit harsh, that one, I think, but
I reckon.
McEwen's just sort of nodded, poked that one back towards his goalkeeper, and Josh Wade's picked it up, and Matt Rins judged that one to be a back pass.
You won't see that every day. Very unusual from that far out, where it's a 50-50 challenge. The ball's gone back towards the keeper, and I guess within the letter of the law, it's correct.
He's given the free kick, and it is what it is. So we just move on from there. Olarigby will take it. Chance here for Tuggeranong to add a fifth, perhaps. We'll see what they've got. They go short, and it's just smashed in by Fernando, and it's just cleared up towards Chirek, who lined that one up but slipped as he was about to strike it. Jono Chirek, not a regular source of goals, so that one would have been a bit of a surprise if he had found the net from there. Here's Dawich, looking to take on King, who's on his backside but still wins the ball. In the end, though, gives it away, and Dawich can come at Chirek, who wins the ball on this occasion, and that's what we know Jono Chirek about, Steve, winning tackles rather than lining up 35-yard half volleys.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He has got the ability to strike a ball, though, hasn't he? We've seen it before.
Jono Chirek has got a lot of good qualities. He creatively, he's certainly a better in terms of providing assists than he is in finishing, but his real strength is breaking up attacks and getting his team going forward.
Doherty's getting Tuggeranong going forward on this occasion. Here's Cummins cutting in field. Finds Fernando. Just drops a shot and goes past his man and strikes it, and it's a good job that Todorowski got his foot in the way of that one as it was flashing goal again. Chirek picks up the loose play, and Olarigby with those bright orange gloves just launches that one into the sky, and Will Listonen caught in two minds, but in the end calmly heads it back to Josh Wade.
I get the impression that the Woden players, maybe through inexperience, maybe through that little bit of lack of quality, are shell-shocked around Fernando. They don't want to go near him.
Yeah, they're too far away, aren't they?
Yeah.
Here's McEwen. Now Di Franceschi. Hess. Space for Darwich. Darwich and King have had a good battle in this half, and Darwich looks to take him on again. And I think, to be fair, Matt King's probably had the better of that battle.
Yeah, he's winning on points for sure.
But we all know that Eli Darwich has the quality to get past him, and if he does get past him and can deliver like he did a few moments ago, Woden could find a route back into this one, as unlikely as it might seem right now. Kukowski, good turn in the area, goes down on the challenge. No penalty, says Matt Rinn. It was all ball. Good call as well, you'd think. And a substitution going to take place here. And it's Ben Gregg, for experienced defender, coming on for Adam Di Franceschi, so a like-for-like swap there.
I think that's possibly as a result of Adam getting the yellow card, maybe trying to avoid suspensions here.
Well, Gregg will just slot into that back four position. Liston will take the throw to McEwen. Here's Hess. Kukowski, good turn, and he looks to fire it across goal, but defensively, Tuggeranong were there in the shape of Marco Geyer, who's been very, very solid at the back. Concedes the corner.
Both Geyer and Highmore have been really good for Tuggeranong. But that's where Tchaikovsky's at his best. He does his best work back to goal in those tight areas.
Well, here's a corner which he'll take on this near side. Very much left-footed. Decent one in towards the area, and that has to be dealt with, and it's going to drop just over the crossbar. Another corner.
Doherty, I think, again?
Yeah, it was Cam Doherty. Kukowski's going to take it once more. If you can hear a cheer in the background, I think Tuggeranong just scored in the under-18 game on the far pitch. Yeah. Smashed his left foot shot in, but that's always going away from goal. Steve, finals football on its way. Tuggeranong 3 points here. Pushes them right back into the mix. If they make finals football is often won by a team with decent defensive qualities. I'll ask you the question in just a second to see what happens here, as McEwen is going to tidy up nicely to Gatsy, who's going to have to go back to his keeper to Wade. What I was going to ask you, Steve, with Tom Barton in goal, with Highmore, Geyer, King, Doherty, have Tuggeranong got the quality at the back to stop the top 2 or 3 teams like your Belconnen and your Canberra Olympics scoring the goals and then perhaps cause a shock themselves?
I think they can on the day. Everything would need to go right for them. You've seen over the course of the season that, you know, the FFA Cup final against Olympic dominated that game. Against Belconnen last week, even though the scoreline was close, I thought Belconnen were the better team. So I think they'd need to bring their A game and hope that everything went their way. But it's a lottery, so once you get in there, anybody can win it.
Well, here's McEwen. Pushes it forward. Tuggeranong comfortably have the ball with Colacello. Doherty. A little bit of space in which to move. Tries to find Chirek, but it was a difficult pass for John and Chirek to bring down, and Nick Noveski took it off him. Now here's McEwen again, but he's giving it away. And Geyer brings it forward. But he in turn gives it away, and it's a little bit scrappy out there at the moment, but Woden Weston, good turn from Kukowski, and he's away for the first time, running towards goal. He's got a runner out on this near side. If he picks him instead, he goes for goal, and it's blocked. But they'll get it on the rebound with Hess. But Tuggeranong defend well again, and Daniel Kukowski then possibly could have come into the path of Darwich there, Steve, but, you know, as a striker who's had limited chances today, you don't blame him having to go from there. No.
I think he probably just took one touch too many, but once he had been closed down, the better option was to play wide.
Well, here's Liston. Kukowski looking for a runner, and he's pretty much pointed where he wants him to go, and Darwich has found that space and swung it to the air. Real chance this, and that's come off on a hand. That should be handball, and it is. Just lost his footing as he was running in there. I think it was Dean Tomeski who had scored the equalising goal. Seems a long time ago now that he got that just before half-time. But great move in the end.
Yeah, a wonderful ball in again by Darwich, but Tchaikovsky orchestrating the move down the left-hand side, showing his qualities. I mean, perhaps Woden in the last couple of games can play him in a more withdrawn role as a 10 or something like that and get him on the ball a little bit more, and perhaps that's a way forward for them.
Well, Matty Hess comes off for Woden, their third and last substitution. Andrew Sellers comes on to play, looks like, on this left-hand side, and Darwich may move into a more central position. Here's a Heggie, challenged by McEwen, so he's going all the way back to start again, and he's overdone it a little bit there, and I think he's got the throw.
No.
I thought Heggie ran that one out for me.
Yeah. Not going to impact the result, but it was definitely should have gone the other way.
As Fernando just goes past a couple of challenges, still running forward, is beaten to it there as a good challenge as well by Darwich in that central midfield role.
Andrew Sellers managed to get himself on the score sheet in the under-20s, and he always gives you 100%, so a bit of fresh legs and some enthusiasm might be just what Woden need.
Here's Ola Rigby. Chance perhaps to run at his man, and he's tricked himself there. It didn't really work. You could see what he was trying to do, the little drop of the shoulder and the step over perhaps. Here's McEwen. Now Kukowski, but Gaia saw that one coming a long way away. Fernando. He's beaten to it by Greg. And now Darwich, looking to run down this left-hand side. And the cross comes Matty King, wins the duel again. Sellers wants to go quickly. His only option, though, is to go in field to McEwen. Back to Sellers. Liston just punts it down in towards the corner, and King's going to watch this one roll away. And good defending from the youngster.
Yeah, a little bit of a hopeful pass, one from Will Liston. It wasn't giving Darwich much of a chance with that.
Under 10 minutes to go, live on Bar TV Sports. Here from Greenway in the Canberra PS4 MPL, Tuggeranong United 4, Woden Weston 1. Looking comfortably like the 3 points for the home team at the moment, unless we have a remarkable recovery. Here's King, now a Heggie. Across comes the fresh legs of Greg, and it's a good job he was fresh, I think. Otherwise, a Heggie would have been away and clear. Heggie and Ola Rigby in the corner. And Greg's going to come away with it and just concede another throw. What we want, Steve, is this not to peter out into a last 10 minutes with like a bit more action, a few more goals if we can get them.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I think Tuggeranong are quite content to sit on the 4-1 lead. Chances come the way, I'm sure they'll take them, but Woden don't look to have enough firepower.
Well, Heggie's in the area here. Still going to get a second chance. Cummins swings a boot at it, but can't quite connect. The youngster saw his name up in lights for a second. Didn't quite connect with it. Difficult chance, though. Here's Fernando. He's robbed this time by Kukowski, but look ahead of him. There's got nowhere for him to go, so he's off on his own. Goes past the first runner and then tries to find Nick Noveski, who got there. You've got to feel for Daniel Kukowski there. He's done well to win the ball, and there's just nobody ahead of him to find.
Yeah.
You think he might get, like you said, Steve, a bit more joy if they put someone up there with him, someone for him to work with.
Oh, well, somebody to get close and link up with him. I think you're going to get a lot more joy. But in terms of individuals, he's been their best player, even though he hasn't been in the game a lot.
Well, here's Sellers. Good challenge coming across. Liston finds the ball at his feet. And Darwich found McEwen, who stumbles, and Cummins can bring it away. And Tuggeranong have a break on the left-hand side. Cummins' ball finds Ola Rigby. This is where the penalty came from. Ola Rigby running into the area. This time, though, it's much better defensive work at the back. It was well worked out on that far-hand side. I think it was Ben Gregg who got across there.
You forgive those sorts of things when you're 4-1 up. If it's 1-1 and you're desperate for a goal, you'd be very frustrated.
He'd be disappointed himself, Alex Ola Rigby, that he didn't get past his man there, but I'm sure he might get one more chance before the end. Kukowski does well to turn his man, but Marco Gaia, who's read that all afternoon, he's been very, very good at the back. That's a long, hopeful ball forward and tired-looking clearance. Asking a lot from your forwards in the 80-plus minutes to chase one of those. Here's Todorowski. Well, his pass was a bit short, and it was Fernando who got the foot in. And here's Heggie running at them here. He's got Ola Rigby to his left. It's Alex Ola Rigby. Chance perhaps to drop the shoulder and get a shot away. Still going, Ola Rigby. Back to Colacello. Heggie, lovely ball in. Ola Rigby's there. Chance perhaps. It's gone away from goal, though. They're still there, Tuggeranong, though. And Ola Rigby, in the end, can't find his way back. And perhaps Tuggeranong overcooked that one a little bit. And somebody should have taken a shot when it came out towards the edge of the box.
Well, they had an opportunity to get a strike, didn't they? And they've blown it. They've just wanted too many touches, too many passes. You know, you get an opportunity, get into places where you can have a shot.
Well, we're going to see an introduction here of young Marlon Thompson, another of the young Tuggeranong boys, coming on for Marco Gaia. Don't know an awful lot about this youngster, Steve Marlon Thompson, but in the squad today, and I think this will probably be the first time we've seen him at Premier League level.
May well be his debut, yeah. But once again, like young Cummins that came on earlier, this is a great opportunity for a young player to get some game time.
Yeah, Sean Murphy was saying to me yesterday he was down to the bare bones a little bit this week, and there'll be some opportunities for youngsters. And you know, he's telling us the truth. Aldi Cummins is out there, Marlon Thompson's out there, and when you consider they've got other people out there like Matt King still on the field, Associate Heggie as well, you know, Nick Faust. It's a really good young side.
It's actually a good blend. They've got a nice balance, you know, with the experience of Fernando, the likes of Gaia and Highmore at the back, Ola Rigby up front. They've got a nice balance. Cam Doherty, people like that. And you've got the young players like John O'Tarek, still, you know, quite a young player.
Ola Rigby looks to take on take on his marker there. I think it was difficult to see. I think it might have been the fullback was getting involved. It was actually, in fact, Temeski, the captain, who concedes the corner. Chance perhaps for Tuggeranong 4-1 up. You can see plenty of shirts in the box. They're looking for a killer goals. They want more. Goal difference may be important to them. It's headed clear on this occasion by Todorowski. Sent back into the area. Chirek tries to bring it under his control, just lifts it in the air. Doherty wins a header, but that's going to bounce through to the goalkeeper. Tuggeranong before today, Steve, -1 goal difference. Tigers were +5, Gungahlin -4. So this one's going to put Tuggeranong up to a +3, which gives them a better goal difference than Gungahlin. And will, you know, if Gungahlin lose tomorrow to Olympic, which is, you know, feasible, and Tuggeranong are in a good spot, point clear, better goal difference.
What were they, -1?
Yeah, they're -1, so they'll be up to +3 for this one.
+2, aren't they? If they get
Is it 4-1?
4-1.
Oh, it's 4-1, yeah. There's for +2.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's when it's tight like that, the more goals the better, obviously.
Yeah, we've seen some goals today, isn't there? There was 18 in the 2 matches earlier on today, another 5 in this one. Plenty of goals in the Canberra Premier League at the moment. As Alex Ola Rigby takes off his gloves, wanders to this near side. It's young Carl Amino who's going to get a run, another youngster. And good day's work for Alex Ola Rigby. Didn't get on the score sheet, but performed pretty well.
He had chances. I think, didn't he get one?
No, he won a penalty, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Sorry, yeah.
He'll claim it.
Got the assist.
Didn't get it, but he'll claim it. So 101. Now, he'd be disappointed he didn't score because he loves to score goals. But, you know, when your team's 4-1 up and you've not got on the score sheet, you're obviously going to be disappointed as a striker. But he led the line quite well. And he's growing into this team week by week.
Yeah, oh, look, he's a terrific asset for him. He is a goal scorer. He hasn't got one tonight, but he'll get goals in the future. He had chances in the first half where he might have done better.
And we saw one glimpse of his talent there when he won the penalty, which Fernando scored at a crucial time at the start of the second half, which has pushed Tuggeranong on towards what looks like being 3 more points in their push for finals football. They've got a free kick here, which is exactly what they want. And Doherty just launches this one into the penalty area. It's easily won there by Todorowski. No challenge on him whatsoever. And Noveski does well to keep it in play. It's been a bit quieter this half, Noveski. Looking for Gatsi, and he's beaten to it by Doherty. And off he goes. Great tackle by McEwen. But he's given the ball away again. There's too much of that from Woden. They've won the ball back, but they've given it straight back to Tuggeranong quite cheaply.
And in dangerous areas too.
Well, Doherty's been caught out of position here, but shows his quality and his strength and pace to get back. And Barton just sends that one forward. Here's Colacello. Now Fernando just dinks that over the top, looking for the run of Cummins. Takes on his man, but it's been defended pretty well on that far hand side by James Gatsi, and combination of himself and Ben Gregg deals with the danger as we move into the last 2 minutes plus stoppage time. Tuggeranong United 4, Woden Weston 1. They've been the better side, Steve, haven't they, throughout the game, really, and definitely in this second half.
Well, the second half has put the game to bed, but they've started to, after a sort of slow start, when it took them an age to get out of the changing rooms, and Woden had the better of the early exchanges, really since then. they've been in complete control.
And they've thoroughly deserved the points, which are going to put them, as we said, right back into the mix tomorrow. Gungahlin play Canberra Olympic, Tigers play Canberra FC. Two huge matches in the context of and wasn't really ready for that. Nice pirouette, though, to find Noveski. He chips it into the penalty area, but it's going to run across goal and just prodded forward. Ihegi has it. Looking for Fernando. Just tries to bring it under his spell. McEwen's having none of it, though, and takes it off his toe and actually wins his team a throw.
He's been given the run of Greenway over, though, hasn't he, Fernando?
Yeah, he's done what he's like with it, really. And he certainly made hay this evening. Here's Tuggeranong. Can they finish with a burst? Cummins looks for the throw-in, but he's actually overrun that one himself, and Woden Weston will get the ball. We're into stoppage time now. We've had about 45 seconds of it. There can't be too much more. You think maybe about 3 minutes or so. It seems to be the norm these days. Yeah. Woden Weston, I think, will be happy to shut this one up and go home. Not going to win the Mount Taylor Cup this year.
No. I think Sean Murphy will sleep a lot easier tonight after a defeat and a draw in the last two games. He'll be very, very happy with the way his side's bounced back.
Well, if you said, Steve, beforehand that they could get something, for even if they don't get something out of Olympic next week, they have Monero Panthers at home in the last game at this venue. You'd expect them to perhaps get 3 points out of that one, and that could be enough to get them finals football.
Yeah, six points will push them very close.
All depends on what else happens as well. There's a lot of football between now and the end of the season. This free kick has gone short, and Tarkowski's lined this one up and smashes it goal, and it's dipping, but it's always going wide of goal. Next weekend, we'll be at Michaela Park and Belconnen against Tigers FC. Two big matches. It will probably be a bigger match for Tigers at that stage than it will for Belconnen, who will probably look like they've already got finals football sewn up. They should have by that stage. Tigers, of course, though, depending on how they go tomorrow against Canberra FC, could be critical for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot depends on tomorrow's result. But I think Belconnen will have some players coming back from injury or suspension, so they'll be looking to make sure that they take some momentum into the final series, so they won't be taking it lightly.
No, but it should be a good match.
Yeah.
But a decent one here today. Like I said, 5 goals. Todorowski wins the header. Cummins helps it on his way to Almino. Just tries to flick it around the corner to Cummins, who's going to go towards the ball, but Wade's won it comfortably. And Josh Wade is just looking for somewhere to send this. Drop kicks it into the night sky towards the Hyperdome here at Tuggeranong. Fernando kills it immaculately and just runs it into the corner, and being chased by black and red shirts. And to be fair, Steve, they haven't really got near him most of the game, have they? They've been second off the pace to Fernando quite a lot. He's
been a different class to Woden. Woden haven't been able to handle him at all.
It was a good ball in from Matt King, and he found the head of Carl Almino, and he couldn't quite direct it on goal. And that is the full-time result. And as predicted by my co-commentator Steve Forshaw beforehand, Tuggeranong United 4-1 winners, Steve. You fancied them before. You fancied them to win 4-1. They have won 4-1. On the day, they were well worth that.
Yeah, if not more. I think they've dominated the game, like I said earlier, from very early in the piece. Probably a little bit unlucky to still be level at half-time with a late equaliser from the Woden team. A bit of credit to the Woden team who never stopped trying, but in terms of class and quality, Tuggeranong United well worthy of their victory tonight.
Yeah, Nick Noveski was busy in midfield for Woden West, and Danny Kukowski ran his heart out up front, and Dean Tomeski, the captain, put in a decent shift. And even like the both centre-backs, Todorowski and Di Franceschi, weren't out of the races, but at the end of the day, Tuggeranong clinical when they had the opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously got the break through Ola Rigby and the penalty at the start of the second half, so they've scored just when they needed to. Individually, there were some good performers from Woden, and you've mentioned a few. But from Tuggeranong's point of view, they were better structured, their football was better. In young Nicky Faust, they posed a threat down the left-hand side. Minola Rigby and Asosa Ahegi, they have players with pace and technique. And in the end, the Chilean boy, Fernando, 2 goals, 2 set pieces, 1 a screamer, 1 a very coolly taken penalty. And I think in the end of the day, he's been the major difference between the 2 sides.
Well, thanks, Steve Forshaw, for your company here this evening. Time to go home and warm up. We saw a fantastic goal, one of the goals of the season, to kick us off here this evening. Fernando with an absolute rasper of a free kick to put his team 1-0 up. Woden Weston, against the run of play, equalised on half-time. Dean Tomeski tapping after Nick Neveski's header had hit the post. But in the second half, it was all Tuggeranong. Once Alex Rigby had won a penalty early in the piece, Fernando slotted home calmly from the spot. Then there was further goals from Dom Colacello's near-post header, which Josh Wade just couldn't keep out. And then Isosia Hegi finishing it off 1-on-1 when he was clean through. In the end, Tuggeranong United deserved winners here at Greenway in the PS4 MPL. Tuggeranong United 4, Woden Weston 1.